Hey everyone, this is Steve with another episode of Keep 'em Rollin', and today we are back in that amazing collection for part 4 of the 4-part series on the Russian NKVD. There are just amazing things coming after this. There's more Russian, there's the United States, there's Germany, there's other nations, so stay tuned. We have a lot of videos on the docket. And that brings me to just a little bit of housekeeping here. The first thing is I want to welcome all new subscribers. Welcome to the channel, everyone. And then, and thank you for subscribing. I appreciate that. And then to all my regular subscribers and old-time subscribers, thank you for being here. You know, this is why I do this, is to share this with all of you. And then as far as videos go, I do apologize for kind of being hit or miss on the videos. I'm just blaming it on 2020. I'm just leaving it at that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to be more regular. This video is going up on a Sunday. The next one I'm going to try and post on Wednesday, and then I'm going to go to a regular Saturday video. So we're going to try and do a video on Saturday, and at the latest it would be Sunday. So in other words, one video a week. So on that note, let's get right into the collection, and I hope you all enjoy.
This is NKVD Lieutenant with shoulder boards that are the subdued pattern that doesn't have the gold lace, you know, on the board. And this was everyday wear, you know, mainly for use in the field. And again, this one has the patch pockets on it, which NKVD continued to use, you know, for a period of time in '43. And also it has the piping for an officer, you know, on the wrist cuff. Now this is a major standard 1943 service tunic. This is for everyday wear, and this one has a ribbon bar on it, which started becoming popular at this time, rather than wearing the medals on the ribbon. This is a major of NKVD Gymnastorka. This would be everyday service tunic that was worn in summer period. The color piping is again the royal blue, and this one has exterior pockets on it, which is kind of a 1935 pattern that was still being produced during that time, but many of the earlier Gymnastorkas had the collar removed and an upright collar was put on them, but this one was manufactured the way you see it here. And it also had piping around the tops of the cuffs, which was usually used on officer tunics of the period. Okay, now this one is Model 43 Gymnastorka of a lieutenant, and this one has the internal pockets rather than the patch pocket. This was the true Model 43, and also they still use the piping around the edge of the cuff to denote an officer rank. This is a tunic of the OGPU. Those lettered collar tabs and with numbers were used for a period of time in the 1920s, and they were pretty much phased out by the end of that decade. And the one directly on top of that, with the rather larger square collar tabs, is that of the NKVD. That happens to be a captain, and those type of insignias, being rather large and rectangular, were used up until the early 30s. And the one directly directly above that is a second lieutenant of state security, and has the newly introduced state security slave insignia, which at that time was only worn on the left sleeve, and it has 1 star on the lower sleeve, which indicates that of a junior lieutenant, and that corresponds with a single star on the collar tab. And above that, we've got a holster for a noggin revolver, which was used by most everybody, and the gymnastorka that is with it is a senior commander, 1 diamond, and the sleeve insignia is that of the senior rank with a gold band around the sword, hammer, and sickle. And next to that, we have NKVD Frontier Troops. He has the emerald green collar tabs, that of a command officer, with gold around the collar tab. And his visored hat was the emerald green top, and the sleeve chevron is that of Army type, also used by the Frontier Troops. The next is a Gymnastorka NKVD Captain. The material is a combination of a bunch of colors, and the Russians call it salt and pepper, and they vary a little bit. They could be a white and gray or white and brown as they were woven, but the salt and pepper gymnastorkas were fairly common in Russian services, both with the NKVD as well as the military. And the one above that is NKVD State Security of Junior Lieutenant. He has the State Security insignias on both sleeves, and the 2 diamonds indicate that he is a junior lieutenant. And above that, we have a militia major. His insignias are blue enamel, and also his sleeve insignia are commissar stars, indicating that he is a commissar with the People's Militia. And his visored hat has a light blue band on it, red, white, pink, and the insignia bears the insignia of the Soviet Union banner showing the number of photos. And above that is a militia lower grade officer, actually like a sergeant grade, and they wore a seal of the Soviet Union on their sleeve. And also the visored cap of that has a seal of the Soviet Union. It's known as stars. This is a militia captain, and this is a 343, because they did away with collar tabs when they brought up shoulder boards, and this one has the seal of the Soviet Union insignia sleeve. And the visor cap is blue band and red piping.
I just have to make a comment. It seems like this, I mean, this is very, it seems like this would get caught on things.
Yeah,
You know,
as a
I mean,
matter
it's
of fact, they did have, in many cases, the piece of fabric that it was mounted on and sewn on the sleeve, but sometimes they were directly through the sleeve, like that one was.
interesting.
And frequently they're busted up because they had a break out.
Yeah. For those of you watching this, this is actually a metal piece of insignia. It's actually attached, so it's three-dimensional. It's not flat on the uniform, so it puffs right out. So, sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
Okay, that's all right. And also, this is a naval cap for enlisted men in the NKVD, which that's the initials in Russian as to what NKVD looks like. And this would be of the frontier troops, since it's, you know, they would be, you know, outside that of Russia, so that was their duty to watch who was coming in. And this was a tunic of the Gulag system, and the collar tabs of those white vests are part of the rank system that were used by the employees. And what was interesting about this one is the patch on the sleeve, you know, has a hammer and sickle and some initials, but it's actually superimposed over a guard tower. This is NKVD State Security Captain. This is a wool salt and pepper version of the summer salt and pepper version. Quite very fun. And the state security insignia below it. We have NKVD troops of a general, model 1940, and this is the uniform where they did away with the blue tops for generals, and at least for a period of time. And also the sleeve insignia was that would look like an army general, except the backing was royal blue. And in 1943, when they brought back shoulder boards, they also brought back the blue top cap for the generals because it was very unpopular with them that they lost their blue top caps when they came out with this uniform in 1940. And next to that is a Model 43 General of State Security. It has the blue decoration within the shoulder boards that would denote state security, and also the general's cap with the Army style insignia and gold chin strap like that of an Army general. They move that back. Oh, one other thing now, Steve, I didn't mention this on either one. I don't know if you can get it in there, but the state security uniform without the blue top, the insignia that's on the cap does actually have the royal blue background in it, as to where normally insignia of Generals red. This is NKVD Budanovskoye, or Shlem, or Budynik camp, as they're called. And has a brick red star, which would denote that of the NKVD. And this fella here is called a finka. It has a little button at the top, and this one was worn by the police and the NKVD. But anyway, it has fur around the outside, and this one happens to be police. And they were quite popular with those people. And this is a Frontier Troops variety with an emerald green star. This is a finka of the NKVD with a button on the top, and they use the traditional capstar on the front of these. Here are three women's berets. This one is of the Frontier Troops with a green background star, and that one's black. That could be a couple things. Technical Troops, and that one's raspberry. That would be infantry. And this is a woman's Air Force technical surgeons gymnastica. Notice the button on the opposite way that a man's would. And this is a summer white of the police, and this has 6 republics on it, so this would date before 1935. And that would have been a, everyday use for the summer uniform. And this is a Model 35 capstar. It's a 2-piece capstar that was instituted in 1935. And that's what the inside of one of these would look like.
Well, everyone, I hope you enjoyed part 4 of the Russian NKVD in this 4-part series out of this amazing collection. And remember, stay tuned. We have more Russian, we have the United States, we have Germany, we have other nations. There is a lot more to come. To my new subscribers, once again, welcome. And to my old subscribers, thanks for being here. And just so you know, I'm going to be interspersing a few of my recent find videos as well. So stay tuned, everyone. And remember, this is Steve reminding all of you to keep 'em rolling.